On today's show, recap, recap, and of course, as usual, another top team falls. I think there might be one team left in the country that's good. Stick around and find out. Start the show. Welcome to episode of Sitting Courtside. Today is Tuesday, February 20th. I have no feedback coming into my ears. So I actually have, for the first time in probably 3 years, no clue what I sound like. I usually have some feedback from my microphone, but we had technical issues, everybody. So fun times. Hopefully this show works. Fingers crossed. Knock on wood. Let's recap. Recap Tuesday. Kyle, hit us with the best.
Yes, we had a crazy weekend. A lot of big teams going down, a lot of teams getting road wins, which is a shocker in conference play. But we have to start with, as Jordan off the top mentioned, there might only be one really good team left in the nation, and that is Uconn. They absolutely torched Marquette, 81-53. They now sit at plus 500 to win the title, easy favorites by plus 300 more than Purdue. So it is Uconn's world, and we're just living in it right now.
I mean, are we really surprised?
We shouldn't be. It
Like
really shouldn't be.
I think we talked about this 4 weeks ago that they kind of were like under the radar, but they're like a top two team in the country.
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
here they finally had their like come to Jesus moment where they beat the shit out of Marquette.
Yeah. And
At this point, it's yeah. Go ahead.
that was one of the hottest teams in the nation too going into that game, Marquette. So it's not like they got Marquette on like a bad scheduling spot. It was the hottest Marquette team that we've seen this year.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. Uh, I will say this: we also agreed, and I think this is where Marquette went wrong. What was going on with wearing the blue uniforms?
Yeah, that
Wear the
didn't make it.
yellow. You're playing
Uh,
Uconn, the weird like crisp uniform of Uconn with
mhm.
your shitty off-brand whatever that. Wear the yellow.
Yeah, we
You
have
probably
to.
would have won
That's
the game in yellow. Honestly, I don't even know why you wear those uniforms at this
it
point.
would have been a 30-point swing for sure.
Easily, uniforms alone.
Yeah, and for those that didn't catch this, the committee did come out with their top 16 for the NCAA tournament, so the 1 through 4 seeds, and they actually did not have UConn as the 1 seed, but going into Saturday, they had Purdue there, and that leads us to probably one of the most disappointing losses of the season by any team, and that is Purdue. When the day after getting the initial number 1 overall seed by the committee, they lay an absolute clunker against Ohio State. 73-69. And mind you, they got off to this game an 8-0 lead. This was against the Ohio State team that had a brand new coach that has really never been a head coach. And this is not a very talented Ohio State team, as we've seen. They've lost 10 out of their last like 12 Big Ten games. This was just a pathetic effort by Purdue.
Yeah, they're pulling the Purdue at this point. Like I don't. We thought they were one of the juggernauts. They'd figured it out. I'd honestly, at this point, we could quit talking about Purdue until tournament, and I think that the fans will be just fine with that because they're going to do what they always do. They'll win handily in the first round. They'll play a 9 seed and get beat by like 6, and we're all going to be like, "What happened to Purdue? Well, they stink."
I thought we might have been getting over the if Edie doesn't can't dominate, then they have enough other players to like either keep them in
Yeah,
games or win the game. And that was just obviously not they hit three threes all game, all by Jones. Lawyer was completely absent. Braden Smith, after we just got done talking him up, he had a couple of really dumb mistakes.
I'm.
Yeah,
We
go
need
ahead.
a shirt idea. Okay, sorry, I'm going off tangent again. This has been the norm here. If you guys haven't noticed for the last 3 weeks, shirt idea. We need to get a shirt that either has like the Grim Reaper, like 90s style, like they've been making like the football ones, but like Grim Reaper with like the lightning bolts in the background, and just like the biggest white case ever, like big font, bubble, whatever, just says courtside curse.
It
Like,
really is.
or like someone needs to go through and get like the witch from Snow White, where she's like hovering over like the little pot where she's making the poison apples,
Oh,
and replace the apples with all the teams that we have cursed, and then
yes.
just have Braden Smith's face.
Yeah.
Because god damn it, if we like someone and have any nice things to say,
Yeah.
do they not shit the bed immediately?
That is so true. That would be a great shirt idea. That is a wonderful suggestion. Yeah, I mean, this was classic Purdue, as you've mentioned. Like they got dominated by a decent guard that's not even that great in the Big Ten, and then their guards let them down. Like it's what they've been doing forever, and it's apparently something that's still in their DNA this year.
And honestly, I was as a jest that Purdue would lose in the second round, but like Ohio State is a second round team that would be like a 9 seed that has no
Yeah,
business being there that they should beat by 30 and beats them. Like that's
yeah,
what like I don't care it's a Big Ten opponent. They should have won by 30 points. They should have done what UConn did to Marquette.
yeah, exactly. Yep. All right. Other than those two teams in the top 16 that the committee revealed, there was only two other teams that lost. So we had Purdue and Marquette lose. We also had Wisconsin lose yet another road game,
God.
88-86 on the road in Iowa in overtime. And then the other top 16 team that lost was Auburn. They lost their first home game of the year, 70-59 to Kentucky, and they lost their second leading scorer, Williams, for multiple games. It says it's not season ending, but it's definitely going to be a multi-week absence. So out of those two games, I don't know if you had any takeaways, but those are two other big teams that lost this weekend.
Injury was not great. However, does Kentucky play defense now? They held
No, this
Auburn
came
to
out of nowhere.
59 points.
Yeah, on the
59
road. Yeah,
points. The over under in that game was 161, I think.
I
Maybe
think
no
so.
higher. Maybe higher than that. And I think like 80% of the public was like, yep, that's an over game.
No,
Nowhere close.
not even
Nowhere.
close.
Like the fact that if you'd have told me that Kentucky scored 70 points at the end of that game, I would have told you they lost by 30.
Yep. I mean, that's what Auburn's been doing to teams at home. Just been boat racing them by 20 at home. Like this one came out of absolute nowhere because Kentucky came into this game wounded. They've lost a lot of their recent games as well.
Yeah. Also, sidebar again, what the hell were those shirts that Auburn was wearing? Not the
Yeah,
jerseys, the shirt. I couldn't. Was it an autism shirt? I don't.
I'm not sure. I'm not
I
sure.
don't.
I can't
I couldn't tell
recall.
if like they were doing like a fundraiser for autism or if like maybe this is like a neutral site game in Atlanta. I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
The it didn't spell anything on the shirt.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I can recall them, but I don't know what they were for. So.
It made no sense.
All right, we actually had some other big results as well. We're actually recording as one is currently going on. Iowa State is playing against Houston, which is now a top six matchup because Iowa State moved up to number six
Yep.
in the AP poll. But Iowa State this past weekend they got a home win against Texas Tech, and they're now, since Auburn lost, the best home team in the nation. Like you just can't beat Iowa
Oh
State
yeah.
and Iowa State.
I this is how hesitant. I've basically turned college basketball into my hesitation gambling now, where I just question everything. I almost made like Texas Tech plus 7.5, like a mega whale play, and I was like, I don't. This seems weird. And then Iowa State wins by like 12.
Yeah.
They beat Texas Tech, a good team, top 25 team, by 12, and it was
Mhm.
never close.
Yeah, it was never close at all. Speaking of Monday's results, though, because we did get to watch the first game on ESPN tonight. Virginia played at Virginia Tech. It was 19-19, and then, or it was 15-15. Then Virginia just decided they were not going to play any offense the rest of the game. They got absolutely dominated by more than 30 points. But I don't think I tuned in like just before halftime, so I missed the big run. But I don't think there's a team in all of college basketball any year, pick any year, that you have less confidence in coming back down 20 than a Virginia team. It's
Oh
just
my
always
God.
whenever a Virginia gets down, it's like, well, they can getting back in this one.
Virginia, honestly, over the years has caused so much anxiety, I feel like, amongst gamblers that we should get the right to strip their national title.
Yeah, I like that call. I like
Like
it.
they're the worst team to gamble on. They literally were the hottest team in the country. I feel like they're 2 weeks ago, have a
Yeah.
weird loss, come back, win a big game, and then this happens.
Yeah.
The writing probably should have been on the wall when they beat Wake Forest fucking 49-47.
Yeah. Even when they win you bets, you have to wait the whole 40 minutes because they don't score enough to put the other team away. So you're just like, okay, well, they're up 35-25, but it's only
Yeah.
10 points. So.
Also, another sidebar. Do you remember that guy from Indiana, by the way? I think he's from Brownsburg, maybe. Played for Virginia on the national title team. What was his name? Last name was Guy. I don't remember.
Kyle guy.
Kyle Guy, yeah. Did you
Yeah.
remember he was an All-American?
Yeah.
I can't still to this day. I was watching a recap today. It was him shooting free throws. They're like tied, some crap, whatever. And they
Mhm.
had mentioned he was an All American. I'm like, that
Yeah.
guy was an All American.
I know, right?
It's shocking to think of the talent that was been around college basketball the last 5 years, and him of all people. Again, great basketball player, but
Yeah.
like only five people get to be on like
Yeah.
five. That's who we chose.
With the white shooter from Virginia. Okay. Sounds good. All right, let's keep it moving from the weekend. Creighton blows out Butler on the road. They've won 79-57. I think I know I picked Butler in this
We
game.
both
I'm not.
did. We
Yeah,
both did.
this
Yeah,
this was an ugly one for us, but it does set up an awesome game on Tuesday. Creighton hosts Uconn on Tuesday night.
yeah. Great setup. Me and you are starting to look like dum dums, Kyle.
I'm falling apart, man. I am falling
We both we
apart.
both took Butler very confidently, almost too
uh,
much so,
yeah.
and not to kill the vibes. I didn't get to see the sheet. Another team of ours has crumbled to the ground so quickly.
Which team is
The
this?
Butler loss was right there, number two,
Uh,
behind our Indiana State
oh yeah.
Sycamores. How in the hell do you beat a team by like 44 points and then you can't even cover 4.5? And
Yeah,
you
you can't
lost
even
outright.
win. You
You
can't even
lost
win.
outright. I mean, holy smokes.
Yeah, let's just hop right into that one. Yeah.
The curse is so real.
that
It is
that's like the poster child for the curse right there.
100%. Actually, that's what it is. The apple that she's holding, the green one, is actually Indiana State.
Yeah.
And then inside the pot is all the other teams we've talked about, like Kentucky and Kansas and Auburn.
Texas.
There's gonna be and for Auburn, I need it to be a weird looking like toy ship because it's the Pearl Belt.
Yeah.
Yeah, just all of them. Just it's a
Yeah.
disaster anytime we like
Yeah.
anybody around
And
here.
Braden Smith's face, of course, still there too. So, but yeah, 74-69 loss to Southern Illinois. This is now their second bad loss in a row. And honestly, they don't have another quad one or two game the rest of the season unless they end up playing against Drake in the title game. So I kind
Yeah.
of think for all intents and purposes, they can't afford another loss. So if
Are
they
they
want to get,
are they tied for their conference now
yeah, they're
with
tied with
Drake?
Drake.
Yeah.
Yep.
What the fuck?
So they like whenever we get these updated bracketology ones, if they end up going with the tiebreaker, like I don't know what the tiebreaker is because they split this year, but they might not even get the automatic bid in these bracketology website things.
Can you imagine we go into March Madness and we've talked all this ish and they don't even make it?
I
Like
know.
that would be yikes.
Well, and I was jacked up last week because they play in Valpo on Wednesday. So I'm like, I'm going to this game. It's going to be awesome. Top 25 team. I'm going to wear the jersey. And it's all the shine on that one has completely gone away.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, you saying jacked up, my brain is this is why we need to do podcasts late at night, but also not. Do you remember the old school, like late 90s, early 2000s NFL countdown with
Mhm.
Berman?
Yep.
So it was before it was whenever CTE was cool and nobody knew about it. And it was before they came out with the segment You Got Moss. Do you remember when they
Uh-huh.
would do like the end of the show be like 3.5 minutes of just like
People
the
getting,
hardest
yep.
hits?
Uh-huh.
And every
Yep.
time they'd be Terrell Owens over the middle, and he got dude jacked up, and
Uh-huh.
you just see him get
Yeah,
flat
just
by like
absolutely.
Ray, and 90% of the highlights were just Ray Lewis taking somebody's head off, and
Concussing someone
you'd
immediately.
always see Berman and like the crew like be behind like jacked up, like they're
Yeah.
excited about it. You did
Yep.
that shit now, everyone on the crew's fired.
Yeah. Yeah. Immediately. It gets pulled off air.
He's saying that, I'm just sitting there like jacked up. Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah,
All right,
already a
back to
state team.
basketball.
Not looking great here. But another team that you liked got a really ugly road loss this weekend. BYU
Oh
going down
God.
to Oklahoma State 93-83 to give Oklahoma State their first conference win of the season.
That's disgusting.
It's so bad.
My Final Four future couldn't be lower value. Just disgusting. Honestly, they keep putting out all these teams that fit the metrics still. How some of the teams are on there, like BYU, beyond me.
Yeah.
We're all just
Yeah.
lying to ourselves at this point, hoping that someone besides UConn is good enough to win.
Yeah. It reminds me that you say your Final Four thing.
Oh
I
God.
like the last podcast. I went on for like 3 minutes talking about how I still believe in Memphis, and boy, has that aged so
You
terribly
still
too.
believe in who?
Just Memphis. Two
Oh
ugly
God,
just
yes.
losses since that podcast.
I need to start trusting my gut. Whenever they didn't get Williams cleared at the start of the season, I was like, I get a redo. And then
Yeah.
they started doing well. I was like, oh, maybe I'm a genius. No, I needed the redo. I needed the redo.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, Memphis. That made me look bad last podcast. But all right, well, we'll keep
Here
it
we are.
moving. Okay, so another team that reached their highest ranking, I think maybe ever, or at least in a long time. South Carolina was a top 11 team. They immediately fall back to earth with back-to-back losses last week. This one they lost on Saturday at home to LSU by 1, and I think they're just hanging on by a thread in the top 25 now.
Yeah, they're not good. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah,
I
when did it
tried to give
ever
them
think they were going to be
I
good?
tried to give them benefit of the doubt. Wrong.
Yeah, completely messed up. No.
Well,
All right. If we do it though, going into the rankings, we do have 5 new teams in the AP top 25. San Diego State's at 19, Washington State's at 21, Colorado State at 22, Texas Tech at 23, and Florida at 24. So we get some new blood, some teams that were in there
yeah.
early and they bounced back. But I like seeing Florida and Washington State. Those teams have been under the radar for much of the season, not a lot of national attention. So it's nice to see them get put into the rankings.
Mhm. Yeah, nice way for you to avoid that. You also told me you felt nervous about Utah State, and that went down real well too, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
We
Definitely
both
did.
woof whiff.
Yeah, I mean, I am in a terrible spot right now. I'm just killing how good my record was at the beginning of the year. It's
Oh,
just flatlining right now.
here we are.
You know. All right. Do you want to give your new records, or do you want to do our top tens first?
I'll do my record for you.
Okay.
If you go over to Betting Pros, I will let you know now. For some reason, their system is not wanting to give me credit for a couple games, so my record will look off. But it'll show that my picks are live. Then these games are over with. So,
Yeah.
record is 443, 403, and 14. Still 53%.
Okay.
870 picks.
Yeah, it's impressive. Very impressive.
70 picks.
I'm a 307, 248, and 1, a little bit above 55%, but it is just I've been eking out 50 days, like 500 days. Like
Yeah.
I'm not getting any winning days right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. I can feel that.
Yeah. All right, let's move it on to our top tens where I mean I know mine has a lot of changes. Do you want to go first on this one?
Buddy, I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna tell you now. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just making it up at this point. Uconn number one. Yep, that's the list. No, I'm
Yeah, there
joking.
we go.
Joking. Uconn number one. Houston two. Iowa State three.
Okay.
So they're the team I said they need to show up. So technically tonight I have a 2 versus 3 matchup.
Yeah.
Purdue 4, North Carolina 5, Tennessee, Arizona, Marquette, Duke, Baylor. I don't know. Once you
Yeah.
get past the first like 4 teams, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't care who you
Yeah.
put there. They all stink.
They're all going to lose to each other anyway.
Yeah,
So.
who cares? Yeah, I even kept Marquette in there because I was like, I don't know. I mean, they
Yeah.
did lose to the number one team in the country at least. Like,
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean our lists are pretty similar with at least about the same amount of or same 10 teams. But I got UConn as one. You might as well just put them there for the rest of the season. Houston at 2, Purdue at 3, Arizona at 4, Tennessee 5, Iowa State. I have them at 6,
Mhm.
Marquette at 7. I kind of thought of them the same way as you. He lost to the number one team. I guess I can't knock you that much. Duke number 8, Baylor 9, and UNC 10. So I'm honestly not even sure if we have like any different
we have the
teams.
exact same teams,
Yeah.
just different. Because again, I don't know. Like, I
Uh-huh.
usually liked again. I do think sometimes like the name gets you into the top 10, like a Duke
Mhm.
maybe. But like you're looking through the list, it's like who you gonna put in there? Yeah, I
Yeah.
like Texas Tech. I still think they're a great team. They're 18-7. They've
Yeah.
had no
Uh-huh.
good wins the last 2 weeks. Like BYU shits the bed. Dayton has not looked good. They were in there at
Yeah.
1.4. Like, I don't know. What do you
Mhm.
do? What do you do?
Yeah. Yeah. It's shocking neither of us kept Indiana State in there after.
Yeah, you lose twice. I mean,
Yeah.
geez. I thought about it maybe after the first loss, but two, that's
Uh-huh.
gross.
That is terrible. All right, so let's move it on to what we have a pretty loaded slate, especially Tuesday night. Let me see. Do we have any lines yet? We did it earlier. No, no lines. So I'll pull up Kim Palm so that we kind of have a sense of what it might be. But the first game we already mentioned at 8:30 on Tuesday night. Number 1 Uconn 24-2 at number 15 Creighton 19-7. Right now, Kim Palm has this one as Uconn by 2. Oh,
I have
oh,
a
he's got
line.
a line. He's got a line.
I have a line. You can do right now on FanDuel -2.5 for UConn, or if you like Creighton, you can go over to MGM and get him for 3.5.
Okay, okay, I like it. I
So
like it.
lines are
Which way
coming
you
out
leaning?
fresh. They're not settled somewhere in the
Stat.
market. You're a fucking idiot if you don't take UConn. You kidding me?
Yeah.
I'll take it -2.5.
Yeah, I know, right? Like,
What are we
I'm
talking
just
about?
this will be the only line you get that where they're like even close to even like money line here. So I'm definitely laying the points with UConn. Get on it now before it gets up to 4.5. I don't care how good you think Creighton is right now. UConn's on a different level. We just saw it against Marquette, and
Yes.
I think Marquette's better than Creighton. So
Facts.
on another game on Tuesday night, 9 p.m., number 11 Baylor, who is 19-6, at number 25 BYU, 18-7. Do you have a line for that one?
-3. Baylor or BYU.
Oh, BYU -3.
BYU
Okay.
-3.
Oh my goodness, that's a big one. And I think I'm going to go on the other side of this one. I think I'll take a Baylor plus the points. I think I like.
So tempting, but I have to go BYU at home. I
You have
have
to,
to.
yeah.
On
Oh,
principle alone at this point, I have to. They're a
yeah,
different team at home too. I do think that
yeah.
needs to be called out. Baylor, they do rely a lot more on the offense. And actually, when you look at these teams' records, you said it. They're only one
Mhm.
game difference. The ranking is
Yeah,
wildly throwing this off.
yeah,
Baylor has been known to lose some games, so
yeah.
maybe take the over. It's 155 for Fun
Okay.
Facts. Anyone that cares. But
And Baylor is just 3-3 on the red, while BYU is 13-2 at home. So
there
that
you
there
go.
is a pretty
Thank
big
you.
advantage
Solved
there.
it for me.
All right, the last game on Tuesday night, Mountain West battle, and if you can predict this conference, good luck because it has just been crazy.
Shit.
Not even my just take the home team thing wins anymore in this conference. 9 p.m. Number 19, San Diego State, 20-6 at Utah State, 21-5. It looks like San Diego State is just 4-6 on the road so far this season, while Utah State is 9-1 at home. But
Yep.
they are just 2-4 against quad one teams, while San Diego State is 5-6. But I don't know. I think this is a toss up. What spread you got?
Got Utah State -2.5, over under 143.
Mm-hmm. 140.
Think the total is way too high. Both these teams can play fast and they can play slow. I'm going to take Utah State -2.5 for everything you just said. They play well at home. They just got their butt kicked by Colorado State on the road. They're going to show up for this game.
I think I agree. I think I'm going to go with Utah State minus the points as well. Even though Ken Palm likes San Diego State to win by 2 in this one, I will take Utah State.
Interesting. Interesting.
All right, move it to Wednesday. We're number 7, or at 7 p.m. We got number 24, Florida, who is 18-7, at number 13, Alabama, who's also 18-7. Obviously, both Ken Palm and Nat love Alabama. It's a top 10 team,
Mm-hmm.
number 1 offense in the nation, but not a very good defense. While Florida, they don't really rank high in anything besides Ken Palm offensive efficiency. They're a worse defensive team than Alabama, actually. What kind of spread are you thinking here? I'm thinking this one's going to be actually pretty large since it's a road Florida and not a home Florida.
Yep. I think Alabama is going to be somewhere close to -9.5. Their team total is going to be somewhere probably close to 88.5. I will take that over because we also know that Florida played Baylor early in the year, who also does not play defense, and
Mm-hmm.
scored over 90 points.
Yeah,
However, with that being said, I'm not sure Florida keeps pace, and that
yeah,
total is going to be way too high. I'm probably not touching the total. I will take their
yeah.
team total over, and Alabama. No, Jim. I might take if it's. I'll take -9.5. I don't even fucking know what the line is, but I'll go with it.
Well, Ken Palm has it, Alabama to win 93-84, so they have it at 9. So you're right
Look
on
at
the
that.
number
Just
there.
a genius, yo.
And yeah, I assume a lot of people watch the entire Alabama games because at the end they're just blowouts.
Yeah.
But they have this thing where they're trying to break the most 100-point scored
Yeah.
like in like the last decade. And so like at the end of the last game, they were up by 25 and still shooting threes like the entire last 2 minutes of the game. So they're clearly going for this scoring record. So I do worry that Florida can keep up with them. I don't want to lay 9.5, so I kind of like your team total over. I think that's the way I'll go. But if it gets to like 7, I think I'll end up switching over to Alabama as well there too. All right, another Mountain West battle at 10 p.m. on Wednesday night. Number 22, Colorado State, 20-6 at New Mexico, who's also 20-6. Right now, it looks like Ken Palm has this at New Mexico by 4, so -4. And man, I just cannot get a read on Colorado State. Just when I think I understand who they are, they completely make me look silly last weekend. New Mexico also did not make me look smart over the weekend. Lost on both of these teams. I think I'm just gonna stick with it. I'll stick with the home team here and lay the 4 points.
I'm gonna do the same. And now that I just realized it, you said you've been betting on Colorado State for weeks, kept losing. You flopped your pick last week and
Yep.
lost again.
Yep.
Buddy.
It's not good for my favorite conference. It's just
I
not good.
mean, yikes. But yeah, I think you have to go with the home team in this instance because they're both teams that kind of are back and forth that you don't know what they are.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Trying to see what's New Mexico done recently besides for their recent. So they've flip flopped wins and losses, and obviously they just lost to San Diego State, so they're due for a win at this point. So.
There you go. Boom. Nailed it.
And then the last game on the slate Thursday night. Good luck if you actually see this one. This one doesn't start till 11 p.m. Eastern. Number 21, Washington State, 20-6 at number
Yeah.
4, Arizona, 20-5. Do you give the road team a chance to get this one?
Our first real midnight snack in the pack, baby. Let's go.
I knew you would like that. I had to put it on here for that one reason only.
No, Washington State has no chance in this game.
Yeah,
They have no
not a
chance in this game.
Yeah.
Arizona, they got their offensive groove back last week against Arizona State. I think Arizona wins this game pretty easily. Their team totals have also been a little bit weird lately. They've been all the way down like in the 70s at some point. Pay attention to the team totals. Washington State will play a little bit, I think, of a slower game on purpose. So if this total I think gets into the high 150s, take the under because that's the type of game Washington State's going to want to play. And I'd probably say anything with Arizona, they'll get drawn down, I hope. So probably someone like 84.5. Anything higher than that, you need to take the under on the team total also. But anything below that, hammer the over.
Yeah, I think their recent form of scoring 105, 99, and 105 in their last 3 is going to drive this to be a very high over under. Ken Palm only has it listed at 151 right now. I know Washington State plays very slowly, but this is at Arizona. If it's only going to be at 150 or 151, I'm going to take the over just with how awesome this Arizona offense has been.
So you're basically saying right there, if you go 151, they're going to say that Arizona's winning this game like what, 84-72 or something, like somewhere in that range. Like they're not expecting Arizona to score a ton of points at that point. So,
let's see. They did play once already this year in Washington State. It was 73-70, so they were able to keep it a little bit lower.
There you go. That's all you need to know right there.
All right. Just a little note. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to record Thursday or not because I'm going. Well, I have tickets to the Purdue game currently.
You son of a gun!
But I don't know if I'm going because my eyes are still a mess. So we'll just see. We'll play it by ear.
You mean to tell me your goofy ass still ain't figured out your eyes? I mean that politely, of course.
I went to the doctor for a 4th time today.
What is wrong with your eyes?
They're just like very sensitive light. Anytime I have to look at screens, they start like hurting on the tops of them. And he said like they look absolutely perfect when he looked at them today. It's like, well, there's clearly something wrong.
I need to do like a CAT scan of your brain. Like what?
I don't know.
Is your wife punching you in the face every night? Like what?
Maybe.
What is happening to you?
It's like I've got my blood drawn too. So like they did like the blood test and everything. And like today, like he like spent like 30 minutes just looking into my eyes with different machines and shit. And I don't know at this point.
But you have to use your glasses.
Yep.
Wait, you have to use your glasses because your contacts irritate them.
I haven't tried it in over a week, but yeah, beforehand, that's what was going on.
So your eyes still hurt regardless with the glasses or not.
Yeah.
Interesting. Your ass is gonna show up to the Final Four wearing some fucking LASIK glasses, like them big ass bulk things. I'm be like, is Kyle in there? Like,
yeah. Well, then I'll just be able to make sure that I can drink beer on that weekend, and that's all that really matters.
No, in all seriousness, I know we're joking. I hope you do feel better. Get that figured out. That shit can't be nice. Can't be helpful. Can't be good.
Yeah, especially since I'm supposed to be going to Purdue Thursday and then going to Boston next week. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Boston.
Yeah, going for work, and so I'm really hoping that I don't have to cancel that trip.
But. Yeah, I love that your eyes hurt for someone that's entire job is to look at a computer.
Yep. That's why I don't understand his lack of urgency at the doctor's office. It's like I understand you don't get it, but it needs to be fixed. So
my entire job relies on my eyes.
Yes.
Bitch, I
You
can't
know,
do Braille and see the
yeah,
screen.
yeah, it's
Like,
gonna be very difficult to do such. All right,
uh,
so Thursday, it's TBD if we'll be doing it or not. If
uh,
not, just follow us on Twitter at Mingo Made One at Kyle Cliffy for my picks as well. If we don't talk to you on Thursday, we'll talk to you early next week, and best of luck in your bets.
love you guys.